Right, so I've got a variety of subjects I want to talk about. One of them is claiming that she's Pegasus, because Pegasus is something with infinite compatibility. Pegasus is something that's cooperative and living with the primary, myself. And there's all sorts of things she can say by associating herself with the horse. And there's also something else disgusting about it, is that she can say that Irish habits, Irish Homo sapien habits, we'll call it that, can correlate with animals' primary justifications because they have to do it, because she's forced them to have to do it. So it's all highly immoral stuff, and that's that one. The next one is about Catholicism. So Catholicism is something she invented towards the end of the period of the first period of prosperity, to confuse everybody. So when she was inventing Catholicism, we were quite sure of her intentions, as she's the bona fide bad person, as she should be, in the community. So she's canvassing around the world between the gods and the mortals to try and get them to sign up for stuff that will eventually make them implode, to rearrange. Not the last three on the lineup. So that's Catholicism. That's when we're conscious of our habits. Judaism is in the second period, where things are starting to get more towards people being Norse, people being Egyptian, people being English, stuff like that, because the mortals and the gods are starting to mix more. And that's where some people are starting to take some of it seriously, because they feel, again, like what happened with the Titans, that they owe her the honour of saying some of her bullshit might be true. So then, after the last crucifixion, when I was called Jesus for some reason, a large amount of the older party implode, with a contradiction to that story, and Christianity becomes something that most of you start to follow all around the world, and the younger free have to sort of take on as well to keep up with the pace of the group. And the last one that happened recently around World War II is Scientology. But Scientology, it comes with so much audacity that have now made it physically impossible around the world for people to globally acknowledge those habits, because it just says so much stuff you can't say physically, and plenty of stuff that you wouldn't, to finally put Demeter's regime to an end, and now us being past a new point without imploding that we never have been. Yeah. Just carry on, I think. Right, so you hear fire alarms quite frequently, don't you, around town? That's because Ireland's behaviour is so toxic to existence, like literally like to anything existing ever. If we hadn't replied the way we did, and her locked anyone out of existence just to get her own way, as I'm pretty sure she might try, because it doesn't hurt her, it's not scary, and she's done something she wants to do. Yeah, that's where the fire alarms are coming from. It's Ireland accusing the rest of the world of things that Ireland is doing, her in Ireland, because some of the related features are sort of stuff that we created in terms of environment and energy. Right, where are we now? Right, so how this all happened is quite related, is that I had to match a feeling of perfect nothingness to a feeling that doesn't contradict perfect nothingness too much, and is agreeable, for everything to sustain in a good place between us. So I did make good allowances for that, but then I needed the female to choose some of it, and hope that she doesn't like do me credit card in too much. But she did. There's an area when it comes to pleasure and excitement and confidence without context that the rest of us agree with, that really overblows it. Like, she selected a very large fraction of that stuff and propelled us into this horrible journey, because the gap has to be filled after a certain amount of time, or the universe would implode and just lock itself out. Which is why religion's bad, because it does sort of promote, sort of sustains of three contradictory things and says that's actually possible. It's not possible. It just wouldn't do it again. Now the conversation's been started. So what she's opted for is to do it in the only gap it's ever possible to do it, complete satisfaction and pleasure, for 8,000 odd years or whatever, and then she just implodes and she turns up somewhere else as a human, as we've done now, and it's no skin off her nose, as they say. Very selfish. But there we go, that was Demeter. We created female from some of that, but then she went further just to become a personality that can dominate by taking advantage of the platform and the features, by using them to her advantage instead of using them to a cooperative complement. Right, because the other thing is about how her younger self now needs to keep up with the pace of the tribe, as it were. So had to be born at a certain time as well. Otherwise, how can she align again with us without there being some sort of weird gap to fill? But we've done that. She's with her in Athena. I'm sure Athena will make her quite naturally human. And then the process is sort of like, you know, when you, as happened with Tristan, when Tristan leaves home, doesn't he? He's just going to start doing things, and then the rest of the world will kick in on her instead of me to do the educational part and the fair grievance part to what she has been involved with to be here. Yeah, we covered that. Right, yeah, so the other theory to that is that the whole universe would implode if she carried on doing it and we couldn't stop her. But what I came up with is that all of Demeter will now implode and be locked out of existence completely, evaporated to zero, and her infant version will be aligned with our habits quick enough to still be here without her, and the rest of us, to the agreement of no contradictory feeling to the perfect nothingness of peace, will still live within the 12 of us, and with her completely locked out of that toxicity that she created by being selfish and horrible. Right, so I think that makes sense. What else have we got? Okay, right, so this one's really important actually. Right, so the radio is rather polluted, isn't it? By definition, the system of, like, if I say I'm male, I also have to say I'm female a bit, or if I say I like my best friend, I might have to say I don't like someone else at the same time. All sorts of shit that she's manifested between our language. So can I really ask you, if you go looking for me as Zeus in a physical body, can you speak to that guy as well? So you can compare notes on his mannerisms and stuff to be completely ready to help and wanting to help, just as much as me or whatever has always done. And then you'll project a human more than you'll project some sort of weird sort of anomaly that no one talks to, thinking that I'm Demeter instead of me. Right, okay. Yeah, I even covered that one with the Pegasus thing. Right, peace and love. We're going to make it. We're going to be infinite in peace. 6 monogamous couples who have a locality to each other and a collective love. And nothing will be littered too much for bad weather to happen or insecurity to happen. And As Aries says, zero negativity will be achieved, and nothing will be satisfied with being something, and just stay infinite. I knows it.